So we could have a huge move coming for SOFI stock, as there's a lot of things lining up for that to happen. We called it the last time we had a big run up, and we're seeing some of the same signs again. But there's also a massive risk factor out there that you have to know and you have to understand, or you're just going to get destroyed in the end. So let's talk about all that today, kind of put all the pieces together and get you that risk factor as well. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth without the hype, guys. And I understand we're talking about the stock running up today. I'm not talking about hype. I'm not talking about stocks going to $15 tomorrow or $25 tomorrow or anything else like that that I've seen in the past. We're just talking about getting that movement going in the right direction. All right, so let's discuss what's lining up for the huge move, and then we'll get to that massive risk as well. So number one, sentiment is changing steadily. Last week, we talked about how the analysts are all coming around to SOFI stock. They're basically starting to, I won't say get ultra bullish or anything else like that, but they're definitely starting to come around to SOFI. And like clockwork, here's the media just a week later, kind of the finance media, kind of sentiment shifting towards SOFI as well, positively towards SOFI. 3 stocks under $10 to keep an eye on, and yeah, SOFI was one of those stocks. Should SOFI investors worry about this little known risk? We'll actually talk about that specific article and that risk here in just a second. Stocks, just ignore that next one there. Stocks moving, making the biggest moves midday there. But the next one, 3 top fintech stocks to bank on now. That one, once again, has SOFI in it. And of course, you can see PayPal there as well. This is a SOFI video, so we're not going to talk about PayPal. SOFI stock has 70% upside, says a bull. Well, okay, that looks very, very positive to me. SOFI and Templum partner for expanded access to alternative assets. Again, another bullish thing there that we're actually going to talk about here in just a second, get into the specifics of that. SOFI raised its earnings forecast for 2024. Here's why its growth is so strong. Another bullish article, and then we rounded out there with 3 disruptive stocks that could change the game forever. One of those being SOFI, although it's a little bit hyperbole there to say it's going to change the game forever. I hope that they do, but we're definitely a long way from that. So a month ago, SOFI was terrible earnings, everything's bad, everything's negative, just a month ago. And then a couple of weeks later, some of the analysts are starting to come around to it a little bit. And then here we are this week, we are seeing some of those, finance media coming around to SOFI as well. So that sentiment, whether we, want to agree or not, the sentiment is absolutely shifting in the direction of SOFI in a positive manner, which of course is good news for us as investors, but we need more than that to really get any sort of a move in the stock. So that gives us number 2, $7 support. Now look, the $7 line has been the support line for SOFI for a very long time, months at this stage now. It has been kind of that support line that basically SOFI has kind of been trading in that channel there for a while, and $7 has kind of been that support line. But if we can get a breakout, not only hold that $7 line, but get the breakout up over $8 and hold it more importantly, that right there is a huge technical win from a technical analysis perspective. And that right there would give us the kind of the baseline to make that next leg up in SOFI stock and really get some momentum going behind the stock there and kind of change that narrative. Now, does that mean it's going to happen? No, there's no guarantees there. But what we did see was we saw it break down below $7, basically break that support just briefly, and the stock basically immediately, retook that $7 line. Now, I know I grabbed shares at $6.69 in our group. There, as soon as it broke down below $7, there was buy alerts going off everywhere. It was pretty ridiculous there for a little bit of time. And you just got kind of a small window there to see it because we had our technical analysis experts in our group giving us those particular signals and exactly where to go, exactly where the next line of support is and all that sort of stuff, knowing that, hey, you may get a slight little breakdown below, but it's possible because the $7 line has been so strong, we were going to retake that, and we have. And as you guys have seen with the movement over the past couple of days, we're actually marching up towards that $8 line now fairly quickly. I'm not a TA guy, but I do know these lines can tell you when breakouts may happen. And thankfully in my group, we have a TA expert who provides charts and all sorts of analysis like that on all the stocks that we want to discuss there in our group. And you can get that analysis daily from him along with so much more if you take advantage of the sale right now before it expires for my group, or if you want to take advantage of those $15 tier spots where you can basically watch me build out a portfolio from $250 all the way up to 6 figures plus starting at 0 and get access to a full library of 500 plus videos that discuss basically everything in investing, current events, learning how to actually invest as a long-term buy and hold investor, and all kinds of other information like that. Or go for the full membership there that is on sale, guys, where you can absolutely get 5 courses for free, use our stock analyzer tool for free, get your free coaching, be able to, jump on our live Q&As that we do at least weekly, be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord of investors, all of them helping you become a better investor. See our super buyers, our super investors. They have post all their buy and sell alerts there in their $250 portfolio challenge, and also in the group there as well. You can see their buys in real time. And of course, see all my buys in real time and all my portfolio, see my watch list complete with price targets. Guys, there's so much. Just check out the pinned comment. Take advantage of this before the price goes back up. And number 3 for SoFi, offering expansion. Now, like we saw there in the news, there's a new partnership into alternative assets. So I'm just going to kind of read the release here. Templum, and I guess that's how you pronounce it, I have no idea. The operating system for private markets and alternative assets is pleased to announce that the company is working with SoFi, the all-in-one digital personal finance company, to expand everyday investor access to investment opportunities with its recent launch of alternative investments. Now, I really like the fact they called it digital personal finance company. That right there plays into that multiple being a fintech multiple versus a bank multiple. I love the fact they didn't put the word bank in there. Now, the CEO said, "At SoFi, we spend every day working to empower our 8 million plus members to get their money right so that they can achieve financial independence, and investing is an important part of that. But unfortunately, many valuable investment vehicles have been left inaccessible to the everyday investor," says, Anthony Noto, CEO of SoFi. "We recently changed that paradigm by expanding access to alternative investments. As we look ahead, SoFi is partnering with Templum," if I could ever get that word out, "to find even more ways to give SoFi members unique access as we continue to deliver on our commitment to providing them with unmatched choice and flexibility when it comes to investing their hard-earned money. Over the past decade, alternatives have expanded rapidly, becoming an important way to build and protect wealth, with global alternative assets under management expected to reach $24.5 trillion by 2028, compared with $16.3 trillion today. Despite the growing demand, the landscape remains fragmented and manual, limiting access, innovation, and investor confidence. Together, SoFi and Templum are bringing best-in-class technology and infrastructure capabilities to facilitate access to one of the fastest growing sectors of investments." Now, let me be very clear. I am not a fan of alternative investments, and part of that might very well be just due to my age, due to the fact I just prefer traditional hard assets like real estate, stocks, things of that nature. But I do know that this is absolutely great from an investor standpoint. One, it appeals to their crowd, which SoFi is obviously trying to access that younger crowd in regards to investing. So that's first piece. Second piece, we want this stock to be a fintech stock and to receive as close to a fintech multiple as possible, not a bank multiple. So seeing them move into an area that is not traditional banking and expanding with partnerships like that, to me, is a step in that fintech direction there that once again gives us another reason that if that can really take off and really can become something over the next couple of years, that can really help push us to get more of a fintech multiple versus a bank multiple there. Now, again, it's not been decided yet. It's not going to be decided this year either. It's going to take time for all this sort of stuff to fall out, but this is a step in the right direction in regards to fintech and building out that side of the house, which is what we want to see because we want that fintech multiple. But there is a huge warning for SoFi stock that we have to talk about, so let's talk about that next. Now, hear me out all the way through this. Just don't jump all over me down in the comments until you hear me out all the way through. Then if you want to jump on me here. But this warning right here sounds very, very similar to the student loan thing, but a little bit different here. And let me explain. So with the student loan risk, it was a risk 2-3 years ago. Absolutely was a risk to the business. They have appropriately mitigated that risk to where anybody saying, "Oh, if student loans do this or they do that, it's going to be a huge problem for SoFi," doesn't know what they're talking about, or they're just a bear spewing, bear narratives that don't make any sense or anything else like that. That is not a risk factor for the stock anymore. Matter of fact, it's just simply a cherry on top if things happen to go our way in regards to student loans. That's how much they've kind of flipped the business there. So that right there is not a risk. However, I've seen a lot of bulls say that this next risk is not a risk when it is a risk absolutely to the stock. So the risk that was talked about in that article that we kind of discussed earlier was the fact that they have a huge personal loan, basically kind of base in their loan portfolio, and that is growing rapidly. And that is a risk to the stock because they're not collateralized at all. So those loans, especially in a downturn, and I'm talking significant downturn here, are the first ones to go. And no, those go a lot faster than your houses and your cars and things of that nature. So no, it is not one of those deals that's mitigated strictly by, "Oh, well, they have a 700 plus credit score on average, and those folks just never default on anything." That is not true. SoFi will get beat up if we see a significant downturn, a major recession, something, black swan event of some sort, something like that happens. We are going to see a downturn in that part of their loan portfolio. It is going to degrade. Anybody out there telling you that no, because they have credit score usually here, those won't degrade, those are just as safe as, whatever, mortgages, whatever they throw out there. I've heard several ridiculous things, does not understand banking and does not understand how those loans actually work. Now, the good news for us is I personally do not see a significant recession or anything else out there. There's no data pointing towards that. There's nothing out there that's looming that could cause that or anything else like that. I understand there's a lot of channels out there that are just fear and doom and gloom all the time. They also told you that 2023 was going to be even worse than 2022 for the stock market. And I don't know, I went the exact opposite way for me and the vast majority of investors out there. So take that for what you will, but there is nothing tangible that I can point to that points to a significant downturn that is coming anytime soon. Now, could that change? Sure, it absolutely could. Of course, there could be a black swan event as well that could come. But for right now, there's nothing out there that signals that to me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't need to be aware of that risk. And I definitely don't need to shoo away that risk as, oh, well, they have higher credit scores than what normal banks do, so it's not really a risk for them. That is simply not true if we get a large downturn in the economy overall. So to say it's not a risk factor is just simply not true, false, and it's going to get you in trouble later on when you don't know what to do, when it does become a risk factor and you don't understand what's going on with SOFI stock. And if you want to see if I was starting a portfolio from scratch with $0, would I start with SOFI stock? Is that a stock that I would add to a portfolio like that? Well, guess what? For $15, you can see the answer exactly to that, where I'm starting a portfolio starting at zero and putting in just $250 a week, all the way up to six figures plus and beyond. You can get direct access to that, plus those 500 plus videos we talked about for just $15 if you take advantage of those founder tier spots. There's just a handful left there. I don't think they're going to last much longer than a week, maybe two. So make sure you get those. And of course, if you really want to become an investor, a full investor there, and get access to all the resources that we have there, be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8 figure Discord out there, get your free courses, get your free coaching, see all my buy and sell alerts in real time, see my complete watch list with price targets, get access to the stock analyzer tool for free. Guys, there's so much involved in a membership and so much more coming. Make sure you check out the pinned comment, lock in your lower price here because the prices are going up. And at that stage, you're just going to be stuck paying a higher price. I'm sorry. So make sure you check it out and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.